Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about my top 10 reasons for using Python, or 10 things I like about Python. So let's start with the first point. It's simple. Python is really simple to use. The syntax is simple. Using Python is simple. Understanding it is easy. Number two, Python lets you get started on a project real quick. So usually if you have an idea of something you want to make, it's really easy to just use Python to do that, to experiment with this idea that you have, because there's very little required to get Python up and running. Number three, the third point of why I like Python is that it has a lot of libraries. There's pretty much a library for anything you want to do. And if the library doesn't exist, you can just write your own library and push it up to the PyPy repositories. Number four, you can pretty much do everything with Python. There's literally almost no limitations. Number five, it pretty much runs everywhere. I know there can be some difficulties getting it up and running on Windows, but it works. I have had Python running on Windows at work. When I worked at this company that forced us to use Windows, I got Python to work there, so Python basically runs everywhere. Number six, you don't need to compile Python. And since you don't need to compile Python, the feedback loop is pretty fast. And so what is a feedback loop? Well, a feedback loop is when you develop a feature and then you're getting a response back, like you can see the result of the thing you developed. So the time between you actually writing the code and you seeing the result is that time difference is very small. So that makes the feedback loop very fast when you're working with Python. Number seven, Python supports both imperative programming and functional programming. Yes, you can do both in Python. If you prefer writing functional programming, it is possible to do that to some extent in just Python. So that's pretty cool, right? Number eight, you don't need to write a lot of code. You get a lot of feature per line. So Python isn't very chatty, if that makes sense. For example, a language that is very chatty is Java. In Java, you have to write a lot of stuff to do something very simple. In Python, you don't have to write a lot of code to do something simple. So you get a lot of feature per line, if that makes sense. Number nine, a lot of Linux distros already has Python installed. So I think, for example, Ubuntu and Debian has Python already installed when you install the distro. At least I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I know there's a lot of distros that comes with Python. Number 10, the standard libraries in Python are amazing. You can pretty much do everything you want with just the standard libraries that comes with Python. So yeah, that's really good. So that was my 10 reasons for using Python. If you don't agree with something, please put your opinion in the comments. I've been using Python for several years and I gotta say I really love Python. I really like Python. Now, I'm a kind of person that thinks you should choose the language for what kind of thing you are trying to make. For example, if I'm making a web server, I tend to go for using Python a lot. But if I'm creating games, I tend to use C or C++ a lot, because C and C++ are faster than Python, and usually when you make games, you want the code to be really fast. You want things to execute as quick as possible, because people are concerned about the frame rate. You want to have high frame rate when you're playing a game, right? But for making like web servers, for me, Python is perfect for that. So that's usually what I go to when I make a web server. I usually grab Python for that. And I have several reasons for that. For example, one reason here I have already mentioned, that Python isn't compiled. So the feedback loop for me when I'm developing a web server is really fast. I don't have to wait minutes to recompile my project. And it's just very easy to implement features in your web server when you're using Python. And yeah. So yeah, of course there are also negative parts about Python. I'm not gonna describe them in this video. Maybe I'll make another video if you want to. But these were my 10 reasons for using Python. And yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. And should I make another video telling you what I think the negative parts of Python is? Because I'm sure there are also 10 negative things about Python that I can talk about. But yeah, so all the points I brought up in short was number 1, it's simple. Number 2, it lets you get started on a project real quick. 3, it has a lot of libraries. 4, you can pretty much do everything with Python. 5, it pretty much runs everywhere. 6, you don't need to compile it. 7, it supports both imperative programming and functional programming. 8, you don't need to write a lot of code, you get a lot per line. 9, a lot of Linux distros already has Python installed. Number 10, the standard libraries are amazing. So, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button, and if you don't want to miss any of my uploads, please hit the bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.